Oh, let's roll with a new poem. This one's called Riot Diction. They say children should be seen and not heard. So watch out, world, because we are spitting riots. Say beautiful and point to your bodies. Say confident and wear it like a dress or a suit. Say strong and unbreakable and show the whole world what you are made of. We are the poison youth, products of a look-at-me, self-obsessive society. Desperate obsessions with attention, you blame us for our digital addiction. Yet it is you who sung to us that bitterly dishonest fallacy like some sacred hymn, giving us our ungodly fears of rejection. You taught us that the only place we would ever feel safe is curled up within these broken skins that you raised us to hate. Why should we respect a system that has no respect for us? This is it. We will be seen and we will be heard. If you don't know me, my name's Bibby, I'm 14, home educated, and I live up the road from here. So I love Camborne. I mean, it's the first gig I've ever done in Camborne, so it's really cool to support something local. Yay! Woo! It's also the biggest gig I've ever done, so this is mildly terrifying, no pressure. It's also like a family reunion, because I'm pretty sure I know at least 90% of you. So this one's another really angry poem about being a teenager, because come on, what's a Labour gig without an angry poem about being a teenager and being screwed over by the Tories, am I right? So this one's about being in Gen Z, which is like 2005 to 2010, I think. Unfortunately, being Gen Z means this system has got its sights set on stealing your voice. Because in a society that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act. So turn your tears into bullets, turn every artery in your heart into barrels for your gun. For you are the product of a machine that chewed you back up and spat you back out again because it didn't like the way you tasted. This world tries to take your voice. Give yourself a new one, yell loudly and unapologetically. When they tell you to be quieter, you stand taller, you rise higher, you shout louder. Because we are all in this together whether we like it or not. The stronger we are, the weaker they become. We will not stand idly by while you treat us as if we are inferior. Yes! This is the final straw. There is no uprising coming. We are the uprising, and the revolution will not be televised. Let's do one about the American political system, because I got America at the same time. So this one's about the Orlando nightclub shooting that happened in 2016. It's another very angry poem, so I picked up all my angry poems for tonight. I remember it pretty clearly. It was Sunday, June 12th, 2016. It was a rainy summer as usual. I was sitting in my bedroom listening to the radio when I heard about it. It was the first time I'd heard about mass shootings. 49 deaths and 53 injuries, it left me in shock. It never occurred to me that people could be so blinded by hatred and intolerance. They don't write songs for heartbreaks like this. There isn't some chick flick that could fix this. I felt like someone had poured fire over all of my emotions. And that night it felt like the sky was just another graveyard full of dead stars. This is death, so I'm not going to turn it into some poetic masterpiece. It is unfixable wrongs and unhealable wounds. The guilt of still being here when 49 lives are gone is drowning me. I am sick of praying like something is going to happen. I am sick of praying until my knees are aching. I'm sick of just talking about it. I am sick and tired of people spitting out opinions like gunfire from a rifle, spilling out like blood with their last breaths. It feels like everyone is to blame. But at the same time, no one is to blame. The system is to blame. The government is to blame. We are to blame. This is fast becoming our new normal, but right now it feels like we are all halfway between a heartbeat and a heart brave. This one's about how much I hate social media, and it's called anti-social media. I'm guessing, yeah, definitely a few of you that know this one. Perfect lives, perfect paradise, flash, 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 and the camera is clear. Snap, 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 add a couple of hashtags, then add a filter to hide that splinter that's in your mind, that's telling you to do this till you die. Watching me, watch me, love me, adore me, likes, views, and comments are all that feed me. Trying to surpass your perfect life, and it's a goddamn circle with a stabbing knife. You're missing out on life. You see nothing at all, and you call this an adventure. Once in a lifetime trip with the sun and the sea and the sand, and you're sitting with your phone in your hand, and all that you're worried about is streaking your faked hand. This is fakery in the making. Two more poems after your 3 more poems. You want more? I can do my entire set list, but we might be here all night for that one. You have to get blankets and sleeping bags and hot chocolate if you want that one. So, let's go for another one about America, because I really like writing about how screwed the American politics system is. So this one's about the Mexico border, because I was listening to an interview with Donald Trump, and he said he wants to build a wall through the middle of Colorado, which is like the other side of the world from Mexico. Sometimes I like to think America's just a practical joke and it doesn't really exist. It makes the world a whole lot less scary. So this one's called a tribute. Darling Cristobal Cordova Vale hadn't seen her mother since she was 1. She came to the US to see her. She was hospitalized not long after she arrived. Her mother asked for her to be released, but the government denied her request. Darlin died in US government custody on September 29th, 2018, age 10. Jacqueline May, Rosemary Carl McQueen liked to climb trees. She jumped when her father said she could come to the US with him for the first time. She thought she might get her first toy. She'd only just got her first pair of shoes. Jacqueline died in US government custody on December 8th, 2018, age 7. Felipe Gomez Alonso was excited to come to the US. He thought he might get his own bicycle. His parents let him make the trip after he got upset that his dad might leave without him. Philippe died in US government custody on Christmas Eve 2018, age 8. Juan de Leon Gutierrez was a shy, good student. When he had to miss school to help his dad harvest coffee, he'd always run to catch his teacher so he could explain his absence. Juan died in US government custody on April 30th, 2019, age 16. Wilma Jose Ramirez Vaquez's mother brought him to the US to receive medical care for a condition which left him unable to walk. Wilma died in US government custody on May 14th, 2019. He was 2 years old. Carlos Gregorio Hernandez Vaquez loved playing the piano and bass. His family called him Goyito. He had 8 brothers and sisters. One of them, Edgar, had special needs. Carlos came to the US to help support Edgar. Carlos died in US government custody on May 20th, 2019, age 16. These are only some of the documented deaths. 25 years, it's estimated that over 10,000 people have lost their lives at the Mexico-US border. Rest in power, you will not be forgotten.
Oh yeah!
Let's go for a really angry one, shall we? Because I feel like you're all hyped up now. I can't hear you. Come on, you can do better than that. When I say hyped up, I don't just mean my mum in the corner. I mean everybody. But I know my mum's hyped up. So this one's called Pride, which is actually dedicated to that person there. Because I put this on the set list just to Why are you so loud about gay rights all the time? Why does everything have to be about the gays? I mean, like, it's 2019. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but why do we still need Pride? We still need Pride because in the USA there are more than 15 states where it is still legal to fire someone for being gay. Because same-sex relationships are still illegal in more than 50 countries. Because in some countries it's legal to stone people to death for being gay. Because Chechnyan authorities can still issue statements like "kill your gay sons" before we do. Because despite only 7% of American youth identifying as gay, gay youth make up for 40% of the homeless youth population in the US. We may have come a long way, but we still have such a long way left to go. I respect your beliefs, but not when they are damaging my human rights. And I am sick of people debating my right to exist. I am sick of having to tick the other box on gender forms because there isn't a place for me yet. It took the blood of 2 women, attacked on public transport for people to feel something. It took the suicide of a teenage boy bullied for being gay for people to stand up and shout, "We are proud, we are loud, and we will celebrate our existence." We are celebrating our ability to exist openly without facing intolerance and hatred, which in this world isn't always guaranteed. We are celebrating our rights to be treated as equals to everybody else. It's not that hard. Before you say that being LGBTQ+ is a choice, let me just say I have friends who pray to God to make them straight. Do you really think they'd choose that? I have friends who are scared to leave their houses because they might get beaten up or yelled at in the streets. Do you think that is their choice? I have friends who have lost their families, their friends, and their homes. For being gay, do you seriously think that's their choice? The first Pride was a riot, bloody and violent. We invited you to fight alongside us, but you just cast a blind eye. Yet you're all glitter and rainbows when Pride becomes a party. We are here, we are queer, and we are not going down without a fight. You can either have one more poem or 2 more. How popular am I? Then that's all of my most political work I've got in here. Because I sat down yesterday, I'm a chronic procrastinator. I was like, bugger, I haven't got a set list for tomorrow. I was like, just put all the political work in there. It'll go down really well.
Yes!
Yeah. I did try and write a poem about Labour, but unfortunately I didn't get around to it. I wish I would have. Oh yeah, we will one day. Very important, that one day. It'll be tomorrow or the day after, or the day after that. So let's go for another one about America, and then let's go for one about the English Tories. So this one's dedicated to the Parkland shooting that happened at Parkland High School. Oh, and if you really like my stuff, please come up after the gig and tell me, or if you like something in the poem, just scream or say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
It's really nice to know.
Okay.
If you like it, just scream. Well, you all seem to be screaming anyway, so I thought I'd roll with it. Wednesday, 14th of February, 2018, 7 p.m. Breaking news. A mass shooting happened today in Florida. American authorities are calling this the worst school shooting in the USA's history. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. That's all it took. 17 confirmed dead, 15 injured, and countless more lives ruined. All in under 10 minutes. No parent should ever have to hug their child so tight just because it might be the last time they'll ever say goodbye. No kid should ever have to be afraid of their school hallway or be afraid of who is standing in their classroom doorway. No kid should ever have to wonder if this day will be their last, and no parent should ever have to bury their kid 6 feet out of their reach. So this is for Scott, and for Alyssa, and Martin, and Nicholas, and Aaron, and Chris, and Luke, and Cara, and Gina, and Joaquin, and Elena, and Meadow, and Alex, and Helena, and Carmen, and Peter. You are all in our hearts. Let's face it, the Floridian community of Douglas will never go back to being normal again. So, Washington, Trump, can you hear me? If so, answer me this. When will this be added to your list of proud American traditions? There are too many heavy hearts, too many dark days, too much chaos and confusion for this just to be swept under the carpet like last time and the time before that. Oh, and the time before that, don't forget that one. We weren't even a quarter of the way into 2018, yet there had already been over 30 mass shootings since the beginning of January. So here's to the people who aren't accepting the truth, who are too confused to realize what was going on. To the people who haven't woken up to the fact that there were unidentified children's bodies sitting cold in that school for over 24 hours. Do not tell me I am too young to know what I am talking to you about. I stand alongside Emma Gonzalez and the hundreds of young people across the globe. This isn't just for our lives, this is for everybody's lives. Since when did "don't shoot people" become such a controversial statement? Since when did school safety become a debatable, two-sided matter? So I will join my fellow marchers and yell loudly until they hear our voices. In the words of Emma Gonzalez, adults like it when we have strong test scores, but not when we have strong opinions. We are marching for our lives, and this is our legacy. Who needs to go to the gym when you can just get a cardio workout reading poetry on a stage? This is great. I'm never going to have to exercise ever again. So this is my final one. You've been a very, very fantastic audience. I've never had an audience this energetic, so I'm loving it. And this one's called Statistic, because for reference, I'm a quarter Indigenous South American, and this is called Statistic. I refuse to just be another statistic, just another exotic wonder. Your excuse to say, "Oh, I love mixed race babies, they're so cute." I will scrub the dirt from my skin, for if God made me in His image, why am I not pure like Him? What's your name then? Disappointment when my name rolls off their tongues just as easily as their own. I am mixed, I am not exotic, I am not your goddamn fetish. So where are you really from? Don't you mean, why don't you look like me? Go on, pick me apart like some case study in some desperate attempt to work out why I'm not like you. Not black enough, not white enough. I'm just an alien in my own country, but at least I am enough. Thank you.
I'm really sorry about this. Not as sorry as the person who parked the gold and silver